All right. Good morning. I know I am a little bit late, and yeah, it's been a morning. Ended up taking one of my kids to school. My wife had to take a different one of them to school. Been a hectic morning. I had to rush home from work. Didn't even get everything done at work that I needed to do. And tell you what, it's been a wild morning. It's been a wild morning. So let's jump into this. Let's talk about last night's game. We're still only going to go to 10. I am definitely tired. Last night was long. So we're still only going to do 10. So it'll only be a half-hour podcast here. So let's fill it up and let's make the most of it. Last night's game was atrocious. I don't even know the total yardage in the game. The Philadelphia Eagles had 294 yards. The Green Bay Packers had 261. Packers turned the ball over twice. Eagles turned the ball over once. It was ugly. It was ugly. I don't understand what's going on in the NFL right now. That was not two great teams doing battle. It wasn't. That was a team that doesn't have an identity in Green Bay, and a team that lacks the mental fortitude to play consistent football in Philadelphia. I mean, gosh. Saquon Barkley held to 60 yards rushing. Josh Jacobs held to 74. Hurts with 183 yards passing. Love with 176. 3 sacks of Jordan Love. Jalen Hurts was never sacked. The game was just awful to watch, guys. And I have zero faith in the team. I mean, I'm looking here at these stats, and watching the game was hard enough. Actually, what was great, let's go to something that was great last night. So I was on the phone with Big J, and we were, doing what we normally do, talking while we're at work and blah, 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 blah. Okay? This is what was great. We were watching the fantasy scores in Thunder Sports League in the matchups. You had guys that had Jordan Love, A.J. Brown, guys that had Barkley, Josh Jacobs, Christian Watson, the Philadelphia Eagle defense, Devontae Smith. And that was more exciting than the game. The games were so close. It changed every time a new play happened. Everything that was about it just absolutely, changed everything up. And, I mean, it was the best part of it. It really was. It was the best part of it. So you had a 2.9 point victory in our league. That's going to be the closest margin. And then, because of the fumble by Jacobs, you had a team that had the Philadelphia defense, allowed that touchdown to the Packers, which you lose points when you allow points in fantasy, which allowed his opponent to catch up. And then you had a team that had Josh Jacobs and Christian Watson slowly settling, trying to make their way back. If Watson catches both the passes on the final drive from Jordan Love, he would have actually won. And all this was more exciting than the game. We were watching the scores for all these different matchups go up, down, win, loss, win, loss. It was wild. And it was the best part of last night. Because the game sucked. I know I picked Philly to win. Last week, let's see here, I went 4-2 this weekend. I had the Eagles as underdogs. We got that. I had the Bucks, which unfortunately lost. But I didn't do too bad this week. And it was a really, really weird week in the NFL. Lots of special team scores, lots of defensive scores, and then you have 2 garbage games to bookend the week. You had Denver and Las Vegas on Thursday, and Philly and Green Bay on Monday night. And they were both garbage games that you didn't miss anything. You didn't miss anything. And one has a team that's the top in the NFC. One has a team that's top in the AFC. Oh, well. Like, I don't even understand it. Oh, man. I don't even understand it. I'll tell you what. It was wild. It was wild. I kept waiting for something to happen in last night's game, and it never did. It just never did. All right. So, let's go through some of the NBA stuff last night. Because there were some guys last night that absolutely just went berserk. The Los Angeles Lakers beat the Charlotte Hornets 121-111. The Detroit Pistons knocked off the Washington Wizards in overtime behind Cade Cunningham's 46 points. The Orlando Magic won on a buzzer-beating three from Desmond Bane, 115-112 over the Portland Trail Blazers. The Miami Heat created a lob pass at the end of the first overtime period to get the W over the Cleveland Cavaliers, 140-138. The San Antonio Spurs got a victory in Chicago. Wembanyama finished with 38 points, 121-117. The Milwaukee Bucks got a close one against Dallas. And the fire Nico chants are starting to get really bad in Dallas. Really bad in Dallas. Flag had a career night last night. Great night for him. And was overshadowed because the fans are just still outrageously upset. The Phoenix Suns roasted the New Orleans Pelicans 121-98. Minnesota Timberwolves knocked off the Utah Jazz 120-113. And the Atlanta Hawks keep the Los Angeles Clippers reeling with a 105-102 victory. Yes, I'm eating Apple Jacks. Sorry, I'm hungry. I need food. That is basically what it is. That is basically what it is. All right. So let's move to the Hockey League. Once again, we only had 4 games. There were only 4. A prime opportunity to not have overtime. Yep, screw it. Game number 1. New York Islanders beat the New Jersey Devils 3-2 in overtime. The New York Rangers beat the Nashville Predators 6-3. Then the Edmonton Oilers beat the Columbus Blue Jackets 5-4. And the Florida Panthers beat the Vegas Knights 3-2. Okay. Now, I must comment on this because it's bugging me. ESPN and or I should say Disney. Disney needs to stop thinking there's something they're not. They are broke. We all know it. They made a profit, but they don't actually have a lot of money. They have made a bunch of cutbacks over the last 3 to 5 years. And once again, it is a power struggle because they don't care about us. I know I don't normally talk politics on here, but we are going to get to Veterans Day here in a minute too. In business and in all the business dealings, one of the very, very, very first things I ever learned as a manager was you are only as good as your people, and your people are only as good as the customers. Now, it sounds weird, but the premise is very simple. If your customers come in and they're ordering, they're spending their money. Your employees are then getting paychecks, they're working, which is then giving you the job of being the manager and giving you your paycheck. Everything builds on top of the other. And this whole dispute between Disney and YouTube TV because Disney's on a power trip is driving me nuts because they just want to keep jacking the prices up higher and higher and higher and higher for no reason. They really don't want you to watch football. That's what I'm getting out of this. ESPN doesn't care if you can watch football. Disney doesn't care if you can see the sports, see your team, see your kid play. That's what they're telling you. Their money is so much more important to them than you. And it drives me nuts. And credit to YouTube. They jumped on top of this thing immediately. And they're coming out great in this. And they're standing their ground. ESPN and Disney are not getting anything out of them that they don't want to give. Let the ratings keep tanking. You can't watch it. Can't watch Monday Night Football. A lot of people didn't watch that game last night. Can't watch College Game Day. Can't watch all the games. All the college games that are on ESPN, ABC. Those ratings are down. Oh well. I love it. I'm glad YouTube is standing its ground, and Disney needs to figure out that they're not special. They lost a lot of money. They've made a lot of absolute garbage movies. People don't respect them. And thankfully, finally, as a country, we are done with big business getting away with stuff that we wouldn't let our next door neighbor get away with. So I'm happy about that part. But it needs to get figured out because I can't watch hockey on ESPN Hockey Night without YouTube TV having ESPN. So it needs to get figured out because I want to be able to watch hockey. I want to watch these overtime games. I do. It's that simple. All right, back to football. Back to football. So, so we have a coach firing, and I did this short yesterday, and obviously we knew I was going to have more comments on it today. I don't want to belabor the point. I just want to point this part out. You have a rookie quarterback. A rookie quarterback that is improving. A rookie quarterback that has brought a lot of life to your fan base. And you just fired his coach. The person that I am most upset for right now is Jackson Dart. Miami did it right. You fire the GM, the coach knows he's done on Black Monday. He knows it. That's fine. You don't fire the coach. Because if the interim coach wins, they get love in the clubhouse. It's harder to find. I don't think Mara cares enough. I don't think Mara understands football anymore. I think he is one of the quote-unquote old heads that has lost touch with reality. Joe Shane is a very bad general manager when it comes to predictions as far as what he thinks may happen. His kids were smarter than him. They told him to draft Jaden Daniels. He didn't make the moves to get him. It's a year later. They got Jackson Dart. It looks like it's going to be okay, but Shane's not going to be around to see it through. And I was thinking about who the Giants could get because Jackson Dart needs somebody that can come in and really work with him. And he needs a coach with rep. He really does. The Giants are not a coordinator position. You need to bring in an established head coach just like Tom Coughlin was. You really do. which leads me to believe Nick Saban and Lane Kiffin will both get calls from the Mara family. They will both get calls. Why? Because you've got a young quarterback, a young running back, a young tight end, a young receiver, all that needs somebody that understands them. Nick Saban in New York would work. Nick Saban will work really well in New York. Now, I was thinking about who else may come open. I still think Sean McDermott is in a lot of danger if Buffalo only makes the wild card and then doesn't go anywhere. I think Sean McDermott's in trouble. I think Mike Tomlin, if he screws up the year that they had put in front of them, the Ravens were 1-5. 1-5. And they have now won 3 in a row. They are 4-5. And the Steelers are now 5-4. If the Ravens come back, beat the Steelers, and the Steelers don't make the playoffs, I believe Tomlin could be out. We know Callahan's out. That's obvious. But there's another one that I think could be out as well. I really think Raheem Morris could be out. I really do. And Atlanta, to me, would be a perfect spot for Lane Kiffin. They drafted defense this past year. If I'm Lane Kiffin, whoever the next coach of Atlanta is, if Raheem Morris gets fired, whoever that next coach is needs to maintain and retain everybody in that defensive staff. Jeff Ulbrich has the number 4 defense. I think they're like number 5 after this past week. The number 5 defense in the NFL. They've got sacks. They've got turnovers. They play really, really tough. It's not them, it's the offense. Lane Kiffin with Michael Penix, Bijan Robinson, Drake London, Kyle Pitts, and whoever they draft, because they're going to draft a receiver this year, whoever they draft will work so well for Atlanta. Atlanta's the one that should have traded the second-round pick to get Jalen Waddle, or the third round and Darnell Mooney. Mooney's hands are gone. Mooney was never that reliable of an option anyway, and he basically just blew the game for you. 1 reception on 8 targets. I mean, oh, jeez. Saying that out loud just hurts. 1 reception on 8 targets. So Raheem Morris is easily sitting there. And then the final coach, I've said it, Jonathan Gannon with Arizona. Now, normally we have 7. Right now, we've got 2 for sure. We've got the Titans and the Giants. We have everyone believes you've got the Dolphins coming open for sure. And then I believe you're looking at the Falcons and the Cardinals, potentially. So there's 5. The Bills, I think, is going to be off of what happens. I really think that the Bills could end up being open. And if the Bills come open, I mean, who's not going to want to go coach Josh Allen and that line? You get a GM in there that actually understands the money, understands the finances, understands how to build a team. Buffalo is a gold mine right now. Josh Allen didn't take top dollar. He basically kept money there. The contract's open. He can turn it into a signing bonus to give more and more cap room each year. But you need a GM who's going to use the money wisely. You got to use the money wisely. Can't be wasteful with it. Getting impact players. There is a part of me that really thinks that if Sean McDermott gets fired, the next coach and GM that come in need to go get some draft picks. They need to trade some players away, get some draft picks, and be able to accumulate young talent to be able to grow with because they're getting too expensive. It's the same gripe I have with the Indianapolis Colts. You now have Sauce Gardner getting paid $30 million a year. How are you going to pay Daniel Jones $45 plus Taylor plus Nelson plus Raymond plus you got Buckner you're paying and you got Grover Stewart who you overpaid and Kenny Moore who you overpaid? Now you got Sauce at $30 million. Cam Bynum's getting paid a ton. Charvarius Ward. It doesn't work. The math doesn't add up. You can't afford Daniel Jones on a legitimate contract. I think that's why they went all in with Sauce right now. They're hoping to sign Daniel Jones. Do you not realize how many teams will need a quarterback? Daniel Jones will get an offer potentially of $50 million. No, I don't think he's worth it. But I'm saying desperate teams do desperate things. It would be a Raider-like move to offer a quarterback of Daniel Jones' ability to a $50 million a year contract. It would absolutely be a Daniel Jones Raiders type move. 100%. If you're Cleveland, you get rid of the dead cap money with Watson. Gabriel didn't look bad last week. You take away the special teams touchdowns, the Browns beat the Jets. The Jets have now won 2 in a row. Maybe the Titans will win another game. I don't know. We'll find out. That team's just in shambles. But next year, if you get a coach that's actually got some grit and some muscle behind him, maybe you'll be okay. Does Bill Belichick come back to the NFL? I think he does. You know why? Because the jobs that are going to open up, I think he's going to go after. And I will say this right now. He's not going to get Josh McDaniels from New England. I believe what he did to New England, he hurt himself now. Josh McDaniels loves Drake May. Vrabel loves Drake May. I don't think he gets anybody. So if you're Atlanta, don't hire Bill Belichick. It's not where you want to go. But I will say, a team like Arizona, Mike McCarthy may not be a bad option. Mike McCarthy wouldn't be bad for Atlanta either. You've got options. The coaching carousel will be interesting this year because some of the bad teams are bad because of the quarterback or because of injuries. They're not bad because they're bad. Dan Campbell took over play calling duties. He's taking ownership of the team. Kevin Stefanski gave him away so that he can evaluate the talent on his team as they get closer to the draft, figuring out what they want to do. Coaching is a very special thing. I saw yesterday, Lou, our defensive coordinator here in Indy, was one of the names that popped up to be the head coach of the Giants. Why? Why are you going to sign a defensive coach with a rookie quarterback, a rookie running back, and that young core on offense? Are you stupid? What are you thinking? Lou has no business going and coaching the Giants. None. There is one defensive coach. One that I would give a chance to be a head coach again. In fact, I would absolutely do this. If the Atlanta Falcons fire Raheem Morris and then went and hired Brian Flores, I would actually be okay with that because they would be tough. Brian Flores would hire an offensive coordinator that works with Penix. He could get a young guy that's very, very diverse in what the play calling is, and it would work. Brian Flores is one of the few. I wouldn't hire Vic Fangio to be a head coach. No. Robert Saleh, maybe. He was the coach for the Jets. Robert Saleh, maybe. Maybe. But that's it. Obviously, I'm not hiring Brandon Staley. I'm sorry, I'm not hiring Vance Joseph from the Broncos. Okay? We're not doing that. I'm not hiring Lou. I'm not hiring Jesse Minter from the Chargers. I'm not hiring Spagnuolo from the Chiefs. I'm not hiring a defensive guy. If you are a head coach now, you need to either be a Dan Campbell or a Kevin O'Connell. An all-around coach. Mike Vrabel, everybody goes, he's a defensive coach. No. You want to know how I know he's not? Look at his first pick this year. What did he draft? Will Campbell, offensive tackle, LSU. Why? He's an all-around coach that understands what you need to win in this league. Who's his offensive coordinator? One of the top 3 best offensive coordinators in the league, Josh McDaniels. Vrabel is an all-around coach. Campbell, all-around coach. Pete Carroll is now, in his later years, an all-around coach. All-around coaches work, but they got to have rep. You got to be able to get the coordinators you want. Ben Johnson was highly respected. You want to know how I know that? Because he got Dennis Allen, after getting fired from the Saints, to come in and be his defensive coordinator. That is huge. If Raheem Morris maintains his job in Atlanta, he needs to fire the offensive coordinator and go hire Brian Daboll. These coaching decisions are going to be huge. I don't know how the rest of the season shakes out. It's been weird to this point. I mean, the Chiefs are 5-4, guys. The Chiefs are 5-4. And currently, they're sitting outside the playoffs. Just FYI, because they lost to Jacksonville, they lose the head-to-head, they're outside the playoffs. So, right now, Kansas City has got an uphill battle to close out this year. They got at the Broncos, they got the Colts, at Cowboys, they got the Texans, Chargers, at the Titans, home against the Broncos, at the Raiders. So it's like hard game, easy game. Hard game, easy game. And to be fair, they do get the Texans and the Chargers and the Broncos and the Colts all at home. The only road game that's going to be tough is at the Broncos this coming week. And everybody is going, Chiefs off a bye, I got to pick the Chiefs. And I'm going, hold it. The NFL knew what they were doing. They gave the Broncos a Thursday night game, so they have a mini bye week heading into this game. Don't just count Denver out. Don't do it. It's not smart. It really isn't. Tell you right now, I'm going with Denver. I love Denver, and I think Denver at home, the Chiefs are different on the road. They lost at Jacksonville. They lost at Buffalo. They're different on the road. It's that simple. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. That's my take on some of the coaching as of right now. All right. You know what? Let's check out some of the injuries. Let me just run through this. see if there's anything really big and brand new that I need to go over. All right. Let's see. Nope. Nope. All right. The Atlanta Falcons, D. Alford, is in concussion protocol. He made a couple really good plays against the Colts on Sunday. He really, really good plays on Sunday. Marlon Humphrey, the corner for the Baltimore Ravens, has a finger injury. He'll be out for 1 to 2 weeks. Dalton Kincaid, who's having an outstanding season, is week to week after suffering a hamstring injury. Let's see. No new news there. Nothing big there. Oh, Joe Burrow is officially designated to return from IR. The opportunity is going to be the Thanksgiving Day game against the Ravens on November 27th. So that is the goal. A little over 2 weeks from now, that's the goal for the Bengals to get Joe Burrow back. They play the Steelers this week. Shamar Stewart, defensive end, rookie, knee injury, week to week. Trey Hendrickson, still out with his hip injury. Nothing there, nothing there. Nope. Still no news on Deshaun Watson. Oh, well. Siobhan Revel. This is the guy I was really high on. The rookie out of East Carolina, the corner for the Dallas Cowboys. He is hopefully going to make his debut against the Raiders here in Week 11. We'll see what happens, but hopefully he gets to make his debut. The Broncos did get a little bit banged up. Jonah Ellis has a hamstring. Karen Reed has a hamstring. J.K. Dobbins suffered a foot injury, and Alex Singleton has a groin injury. But he also had, last week they found a tumor that was cancerous, and he had surgery for that yesterday. So he may or may not be, I don't think he should be available for the Chief game, but we'll see. Terrion Arnold has a concussion. The Lions corner, he is in concussion protocol. Last night, Elgin Jenkins, the outstanding guard for the Packers, suffered a fracture in his ankle. That one is going to be week to week at this point. Romeo Doubs has a chest injury. Matthew Golden was out last night with a shoulder injury. Packers are just kind of playing around right now. MJ Stewart, the safety for the Houston Texans, sustained a season-ending injury to his left quad, and unfortunately he's going to be out for the year. CJ Stroud should be back this week, and we'll see how that works. Head coach Shane Steichen, this is something that I was really shocked at yesterday. He said he was hopeful that DeForest Buckner would retake the field this year. Okay. I thought it was a relatively for sure thing. Evidently, it's not. So, DeForest Buckner's injury is more vital than what is being let on. The Jacksonville Jaguars could be getting back one of their weapons, tight end Brenton Strange. Will have his 21-day window opened ahead of Week 11. Kansas City Chiefs, no new updates. Raiders, let's see. Geno Smith suffered a quad contusion is what happened in the Thursday night game. We'll see what his status is. Let's see. Hampton. Amarian Hampton is hopefully about 2 weeks out from coming back. Devontae Adams has no oblique injury. Nothing new on the Dolphins. Nothing there. Patriots. They did get a couple of they got nagging injuries. Austin Hooper's in concussion protocol. Then you got a couple of ankles and a couple of hips. Nothing bad there. Nothing bad there. Jackson Dart, as most know, is in concussion protocol. Nothing too big there. Let's see here. Jets. Nothing new. Nothing new last night for the Eagles. Darius Slay is in concussion protocol for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Go figure. Brandon Ayuk still out for the San Francisco 49ers. Good grief. That is just dragging on and on and on and on. We'll see what happens. Brock Purdy and Ricky Pearsall, they're hoping to come back sometime soon, is my guess. Let's see here. Tampa Bay. Yeah, Bucky Irving is going to be out for another week. That shoulder foot injury for Bucky Irving is really starting to hamper him. Godwin is also going to be out for the Bill game. So I don't know. The Bills may sneak this game against the Buccaneers out, and it's helping the Panthers and the Falcons. It's keeping them where they need to be. It's that simple. Let's see. Mike Brown, Khalil Mullings, both of them were designated to return by the Titans from IR, so they're getting 2 players back. What do you know? Let's see here. Oh, the Commanders are just riddled with injuries. Ali Cajo has a concussion. He's in concussion protocol. He's not going to play in the Madrid game this coming week against the Dolphins. All right. Nothing huge this week. So that's good. That's good. All right. Shorter podcast. I know. Wild morning again. Absolutely wild morning again. But as always, we do what we do. And we rock and roll with it. So I appreciate each and every one of you guys hanging out today. Hopefully I'll get home from work earlier tomorrow so we can get through it, do our fantasy update for the week. I got a couple things I want to do this week. We're heading into week 11. So I got a couple different things I want to do as we look towards the end of the year and really just trying to finish out this year strong and get to the goal. The goal I had at the beginning of the year, I wanted to get up to 300 subscribers. And I wanted each podcast to have 20 views. I'm not going out of this world. I'm not trying to make this thing absolutely huge. I'm just trying to build the podcast. I am now posting on X every time I go live. Obviously, it's all always posted in my Discord. But I appreciate each and every one of you guys for watching and hanging out. Thank you ever so much. Hopefully we'll be on time tomorrow. I get home from work. Everything else, the snow made stuff interesting doing my job because I deliver in parking lots and not all of them were cleared. So it was a really interesting night for me. The roads were fine. Just, a brisk 20 degrees outside. But yeah, it's still gray, but definitely very, very white outside. But I appreciate each and every one of you watching. Let's take a 23-hour break. Hopefully only 23 hours. And we'll be back tomorrow. We'll do the fantasy update. Wild week in fantasy. It was really fun watching last night. Coming down to the wire. Last few weeks before the fantasy football playoffs kick in, which is fun for us to play fantasy because we get to playoff time before playoffs even happen. It's great. So we'll go over that tomorrow and a couple other things. As always, make it the best day you can. It's Tuesday. Monday's done. We're into Tuesday. Make it the best Tuesday you can. Have a fantastic day, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Until then, for Sports Talk with Hawk, I am Hawk, and I'm out. Have a great day.